They claimed I was trespassing on my own land until I cranked open that ancient dam, turning their multi-million-dollar cabin venture into a colossal mud bog that exposed decades of buried toxins. Standing at the weathered control wheel, coffee steaming from my grandfather's thermos, I watched heavy machinery sink into the oozing sludge where Oakwood Lake once shimmered, the acrid stench of exposed lakebed filling the crisp Minnesota dawn. The HOA president's audacious scheme to seize my family's century-old lakeside retreat for 120 luxury cabins had just met its watery demise, and the fallout would ripple far beyond Evergreen Shores. This battle was rooted deep in the history of Evergreen Shores, a once quiet rural community in central Minnesota that developers transformed over 2 decades into a sterile grid of oversized homes and manicured lawns. My name is Liam Hawthorne, a 53-year-old structural engineer, third-generation steward of 55 acres of pristine lakefront. My great-grandfather, Elliot Hawthorne, secured in 1926 for a $350 handshake deal when Oakwood Lake was merely a mill pond for logging. He envisioned a sanctuary where a man could sip coffee on his dock, free from busybodies dictating the angle of his boat or the shade of his shutters. His 1930 cabin, with its hand-hewn beams and stone fireplace, carried the scent of pine sap and wood smoke, its creaky pier a stage for family milestones. My father's first cast, my daughter's first swim, my own quiet mornings teaching my son to tie knots while loons called across the water. Every dawn, I'd sit there, thermos in hand, the lake's glassy surface reflecting a legacy built on resilience and independence. Trouble stormed in with Evelyn Sinclair ***, a Seattle transplant who arrived 4 years ago with designer heels, a predatory smile, and a mission to remake Evergreen Shores into her upscale vision. Her husband, Marcus, owned half the construction firms in 3 counties, giving her the muscle to back her ambition. Elected HOA president in a low-turnout vote, she promised to elevate property values, but targeted my prime waterfront for her crown jewel, a 120-cabin resort to line her pockets. Returning from a 2-week job inspecting bridges downstate, I pulled into my gravel drive, tires crunching familiarly, only to spot orange survey stakes piercing my shoreline like daggers. Before I could step out, Evelyn's white SUV screeched to a halt, blocking me in. She emerged, clipboard in hand, boots costing more than my monthly bills, her voice dripping with rehearsed charm. Liam, great news about your property, she chirped, sliding legal papers my way. The HOA voted unanimously, emergency meeting, for a community enhancement project. Your land's been selected for donation to build a premier lakefront destination. I clutched my great-grandfather's deed. Its ink faded, but its boundaries ironclad. This land's been ours since 1926, recorded at the county. You can't just take it. She waved me off like swatting a fly. Old surveys are often inaccurate. Daughter to Skip Stones, where memories of my late wife lingered in the scent of cedar, wasn't upscale enough for her country club fantasy. Construction would start in 30 days, she declared, backed by corporate lawyers who'd bankrupt me before I saw a courtroom. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, she said, her perfume clashing with the pine air as she sped off. The harassment escalated swiftly. By week's end, a polo-clad HOA enforcer cited my morning coffee routine for noise violations at 6 a.m., claiming my boots on the dock disturbed new quiet hours. My pier, sturdy for decades, was suddenly a safety hazard, failing 15 freshly minted regulations, with a $40,000 repair estimate. Neighbors, once friendly, grew distant. Mrs. Carter from the bakery avoided my gaze. Tom at the hardware store mumbled about orders to cut my credit. Anonymous notes appeared on my truck. Sell now or regret it. Whispers spread that my divorce 2 years prior had left me unhinged, a loner with dangerous engineering knowledge. Evelyn had weaponized my personal loss, painting me as a liability. As an engineer, I knew the devil hid in details. I spent a weekend in the county courthouse basement, surrounded by musty files and flickering lights, my legal pad filling with notes. The HOA's incorporation papers were sloppy, missing signatures. No proper notice for the emergency vote. But the jackpot lay in the 1926 deed, riparian rights extending to the lake's centerline, meaning I controlled not just my shore, but half the water itself. Then, at the Historical Society, Mrs. Ellis, a librarian with a conspiratorial glint, unearthed records of the 1925 dam built by Northwood Milling Company to manage log flows. The company folded in the Depression, leaving the dam in tax limbo, unclaimed for decades. Its blueprints detailed manual controls for lowering lake levels by 8 feet without downstream harm, enough to expose construction foundations. For $920 in back taxes, I bought it outright at the State Revenue Office, the clerk's eyes widening at the dusty file. "Haven't seen this one since Reagan," she muttered. Evelyn doubled down. Private security patrolled my shore at 3 a.m., their cigarette smoke wafting through my window as they accused me of disturbing the peace. The county gated my access road, forcing a 3-mile detour to my own home. A local paper ran a hit piece, citing anonymous concerns about my erratic behavior post-divorce, alleging I muttered to myself by the lake. Actually calls with my lawyer. Then came the legal barrage, a restraining order barring me from tampering with water structures, delivered by Evelyn S. attorney, Victor Lang, whose smug grin screamed high hourly rates. Bulldozers raised my oaks, their crashes echoing like war drums, while runoff turned the lake murky, dead fish bobbing near my pier. The stench of diesel and decay was a gut punch, but cracks appeared in Evelyn S. armor. Clara Voss, a reporter from the County Gazette, called with a bombshell. Evelyn and Marcus were broke. Their Seattle ventures tanked by lawsuits and bad deals. This cabin project was their last-ditch effort to avoid ruin, funded by shady loans and HOA funds funneled to Marcus S. firms. $45,000 in no-bid contracts. The HOA vote. Illegal, lacking 60-day notice to owners. Clara's digging revealed more. Northwood Milling had dumped chemical waste in the lake's depths. A toxic legacy later developers mimicked. Lowering the water would expose it all, triggering federal EPA scrutiny. Evelyn S. crews were now dumping fresh toxins to blur the timeline. A desperate bid to dodge liability. I rallied allies. Jasper Reed, a retired ranger, supplied photos of illegal dumping. Concrete in fish beds, chemical slicks. Nora Blake, an environmental lawyer, filed Clean Water Act violations, knowing federal law trumped local orders. Clara coordinated media, environmental groups ready to storm the Monday hearing where Evelyn sought a permanent injunction. My plan: open the dam at dawn, drop the lake 8 feet, expose the evidence before court. Sunday night, Evelyn tried sabotage. Bolt cutters clanged at the dam. But Jasper's volunteer vets chased off her goons, leaving cut wires and torch marks. She even attempted a psych hold, claiming I was a threat to infrastructure, but Nora quashed it with a same-day evaluation proving my sanity. Monday, 5:30 a.m., I turned the dam's brass wheels, water roaring free. By 7 a.m., Evelyn's foundations lay stranded in mud, rusted drums, and oily sheens. Surfacing like ghosts, EPA vans arrived, declaring a Superfund site. Evelyn screeched, "Illegal," but Dr. Lena Carter of the EPA shut her down. Federal jurisdiction overrides your order. Clara's drones captured it all, live feeds of toxic waste. Marcus's crews implicated by fresh dumping footage. At the courthouse, Evelyn ranted about terrorists ruining her community. Vision. I stepped forward, deed and EPA report in hand. You hid poison under our lake to build your fortune. I just let the truth surface. Cheers erupted. Federal agents cuffed her mid-tirade for fraud, conspiracy, and environmental crimes, cameras flashing like a storm. 18 months later, Oakwood Lake gleams, a $2.8 million cleanup restoring its clarity. Evelyn serves 3 years federal time. Marcus bankrupt, licenses revoked. The HOA, reformed under Jasper, bans development for a decade. Tourism thrives. $70,000 yearly from eco-fests. My grandkids fish from the pier, a historic landmark now. I consult on green projects. Married Clara, our partnership toppling corrupt developers statewide. But was exposing the lake's secrets justice or chaos? Did saving my legacy heal the community or deepen its scars? Share your HOA nightmares below. What's fair when greed poisons home? Like if you root for the little guy, comment your verdict. Right, wrong, or murky. Subscribe for more tales of triumph over tyranny.